Hey guys, welcome to another day, another project. I am Christina. I am in Kansas Zone 7A, and today I will be starting onions, chives, as well as the first of my tomatoes. Now the tomatoes, I'm a little bit early for my schedule, but these specific tomatoes will go into hanging baskets, so I want them to fill out the basket sooner. So I will get to the varieties here in a second. I figured since they're all planted the same way, we can go ahead and get all of our pots filled and go from there. As you can see, I am in the greenhouse today. It is cold, not cold, it's like 50 something degrees, but it's drizzly and kind of miserable outside, so it's a good day to do this. Okay, so I have these trays. These are called 1801s because there's 18 3-inch pots in one standard 1020 tray. I'm using these pots instead of a standalone 3-inch pot because these are less expensive, and because they're more economically priced, I can offer them a little bit less expensively for my customers. And so you can see on these are perforated and they just pop right off. So I can sell them individually. However, I plan on offering a bulk discount. So if people want to buy, 18 and fill a whole flat, then they would get like a 15% off, 20% off, something like that. I plan on selling all of my vegetables, herbs in these 3-inch pots. So everything from like my tomato starts to my basils and like all the other herbs I might have, and then also the peppers, cantaloupe, cucumbers, all of that I am going to just have in single pots instead of 6-packs or 4-packs or anything like that. And then hopefully the incentive will be people can mix and match and then get a full flat of 18. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my pots filled. I am using a Lambert all-purpose mix. It's the LM111. It's labeled for everything from hanging baskets to perennials, etc. So now these are kind of flimsy and I don't know what the best way to fill them is. If you had a pot filler, it would be much easier, but I think I can leave them kind of whole like this. Let me get some gloves on. I went ahead and pre-moistened the potting mix already, so there is some moisture to it, and you can kind of form a ball, and that's kind of where you want to be. Oh yeah, I think this will work. So let me get some of these trays filled first. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the onions. I'm going to be starting candy onions. These are an intermediate day variety. You want to make sure when you're starting your onions, you're seeding onions that are best for your wherever you're geographically located. For me in Kansas, because there's short day onions, there's long day onions, and I'm in Kansas, I'm in the middle, and an intermediate day onion works for us. So I am going to sow these 1/4 inch deep, and I will make my life easier by actually putting a tray on top of this, and then I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to sow at least, I don't know, I'm not really counting, maybe 12 seeds per cell, and then that way they will all grow into starts that people can buy and go plant in their own garden. So I will do 1 tray of these for now, and then I'll probably do more later on off camera. I'll use up all my seeds, and then we'll get on to the tomatoes after this. So let me turn you guys around. Okay, so as you guys can see here, I have my trays filled with my potting media. I'm just going to put some of these blank 3-inch pots on top and press them down just so that way I can sow these seeds 1/4 inch deep. And I'm gonna put this over here because I'll do it again for the next one. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to go ahead and sow these seeds about, I don't know, 12 to 15 price seeds per cell. And then I will cover them up with soil, and then I will put them with a humidity dome and a heat mat in the grow room. All right, now that I have all of these chopped off, I will go ahead and label them before I move on. All right, let me get this in the grow room. Okay, so here's my tomatoes. I just sowed them just like I did the onions, and to the side, I'm having technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on, but just in case, I'll repeat myself. These are the Fantastico tomatoes, and I picked them because they're meant for hanging baskets. According to the description, it says Fantastico is a must for any market grower or home gardener looking for an early maturing, high yielding grape tomato with built-in late blight tolerance. And they work great for hanging baskets, container gardens, etc. It's a high yielding plant and produces up to 12 pounds of ripe fruit. Days to harvest is 90 days, and right now we're mid-February, so mid-March, April, May. Mid-May would be hopefully when these have fruit set, and my average last frost date is April 15th, so I'm about 4 weeks after that, but really, to be safe, I didn't plan on selling all my veggie starts till May 1st, so I'm only a couple weeks behind schedule, so let me put this away. All right, let me go ahead and label, and I will get these on the heat mat in the grow room, and then we can see what everything's looking like at the very end. All right, let me go put this in the grow room, and then we'll do the chives real quick. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sow the chives in the same trays and do the same thing. We're gonna tamp them down, and then I will sprinkle seeds on top. The difference with the chives is that the chives, you actually sprinkle, let's see, it says in spring, sow 1/4 inch deep as soon as soil warms up, 4 to 6 seeds every 6 inches, or 1 to 2 seeds per inch. So I'll just sow 4 to 6 seeds per cell. This is actually leftover seed from last year. I forgot to get more chives. So I'm not sure how many chive seeds I even have. I will probably actually split off. I'll probably only do 2 rows of chives, so I'll have 6 cells because I don't have that many seeds. But the chives I'll be starting today are from Johnny's. They're the Chinese leeks / garlic chives. It is a perennial, which last year I kind of forgot about that. When I was doing my garden cleanup, I just ripped everything out. perennials, annuals, they all got ripped away. Whoopsies. Let me go ahead and get these going. All right, let's get this in the grow room. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough space. Let me set this here for now. Okay, so I'm gonna move my stock into the big greenhouse. It's a little bit cooler in there, but this is a cool season flower. It shouldn't ever freeze out there. So these should be doing just fine, but this is the stock that we seeded, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe. There's that one. That one was the rose. I didn't have very many seeds of that, but here is the apricot. They're doing really well. Let me get these moved out so then that way I can make more room on my heat mats. Because these were not on heat mats, but I can move some of the things off the heat mats up top. So hold on. Okay, so I actually have a heat mat on my top shelf, but it's not on because I actually don't have a lot of stuff that needs heat right now. But so the alyssum, I just seeded that. Oh, I didn't do that on a video, but you can see all the green. This is the alyssum wandering mix. I will move that up. My ageratum is still just starting to germinate, so I want to leave that on the heat mat. And oh my gosh, wow, that is so fast. This is the max, get distracted. This is blue grama grass, but this is the Maximilian sunflower, and you can see how many seeds have germinated. Wow. This I did a cold moist stratification, 60 days in the fridge with wet vermiculite, and so far so good. I should show you guys around. Look at this geranium. Oh, they're just so cute. I have one, not so nice looking right there, but I love the geraniums. They're just so cute. I'm gonna move them up top. See how many humidity domes I have. Okay. All right. Let me show you what I have going on. All right, so here is the grow room, and the bottom shelf is full of petunias. Each tray is a different color. They were sown in 288 cell trays, which I've determined I really just don't like. I can't get them evenly watered, and they dry out unevenly, and it makes them a really, really big pain to water. But you can see some of the cells, or some of the trays, I should say, are better than others. Like, check those out versus its neighbor. I don't know. And then back there, I have way too many snapdragons. What was I thinking? I don't know. I just dumped the whole package. And then I will show you real quick the Gomphrena. That's the Gomphrena that we seeded the other day. They were doing really well, but then I think I overwatered them because I do know that they like them dry, and I lost a number of them back there. It doesn't get quite as good airflow back there, but anyway, gosh, I have a Heliochrysum Silver Mist. That's an Alternanthera Purple Prince. Those are doing well. Then the things we just did today, the tomatoes, onions, all of that is there. I don't have a humidity dome for these chives. I might go get one later, but I have a tray of Dusty Miller back there. It is a pain to get back there if anyone's wondering. I have 2 trays of Dusty Miller. Ooh, this is lemongrass and Greater Quaking Falls, something like that. It's an ornamental grass. And then I have my mountain mint and everything else. There's an Angelonia. This is my Angelonia, and then Agastache, Anacisip. And way back there, kind of skip that one, is Shasta Daisy. Not all the cells are filled back there, but... Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.